Slack and you Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, once again to the My Type of Hype podcast. With your boy Slack in the building, as always, and my co-host extraordinaire on my left. What's happening, my brother?
I'm blessed, man. We're here. My Type of Hype, the podcast that knows, celebrates, loves hip hop. We're here for the culture. It's going to be a good one today, man. So Slack's in the house, E-Major's in the house as always. And as you can see, we got a special guest with us, Naps-N-Dreds. What are you saying, bro? How are you, man?
Yo, My Type of Hype, big up on yourself. Wagwan.
Yes.
There, man. Respect. Thank you for inviting me, man.
Nah, man. Thank you for joining us, man. 100%. Yo, listen, the first time I heard of Naps-N-Dreds was out of the clear blue sky, right? So I'd never heard of the brother before, and I don't even know what website I was on, but I came across an album called Blood Clot 2. I was like, who's gonna call that album Blood Clot? I gotta check this out. So I checked the album. The album was fire. So I told everyone on the timeline straight away. I was like, yo, I just heard this album, blah, 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 blah. Then I was like, if this is a Blood Clot 2, there's got to be a Blood Clot 1. So
Most definitely.
like that, and then you were dropping like so. Then I looked at the producers you was working with, man, and I was like, yo, this guy is fire. So, man, it's an absolute honor to have you on the show. Hopefully, we get more heads onto your music, because I've been telling people, man, you need to get up on this. Like, this is some real shit. So, much appreciated for you joining us.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. Definitely. Been a long time coming, bro.
Yeah, for real, man. For real. I guess to these people in who might not have yet heard of you or seen any of my tweets bigging you up, just tell the people basically a little bit about yourself, where you started, where you're at, where you represent currently in the US. Let the people know who you are, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm a Florida-based MC, right? I'm out here in South Florida. I'm originally from Jamaica, born and raised. I came here when I was 12. And it's funny enough, because when I came here when I was 12, that's when I actually started rapping. But I didn't start rapping because I wanted to be a rapper. So when I left Jamaica and I came here, I was in middle school, and I was in the school band, right? So I played drums. I wanted to play saxophone, but my mom, first of all, my homeboys played saxophone and trumpet. And when I seen them walking around in the hallways, I always said, man, what class is that? I want to get in that class. You know what I mean? Knew nothing. I knew about music, but nothing really about instrumentation. I just thought it was really cool that they was walking around with something nobody else was walking around with. You know what I mean? So I asked my mom if I could be in the band. She was like, all right, cool. Now mine's just like symphonic band, right? So it's like an orchestra and shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, get to the band class now, and we speak to the band director, and the man say, if you want to play saxophone, you have to go to the store and rent the saxophone. We'll go to the store, and to rent the saxophone was over close to $1,000 to rent it outright. My mother said, yo, you have to rethink this thing, you know. You cannot play saxophone. I said, what about trumpet? Same thing, like 800 or something like that. Went back to the band class. The band director said, there's nothing else we can do right now because we already started. You know, we're already in the book and everything. So the only thing I can say is go back there in the back with the drummers, and we can give you a pair of drumsticks to play with for now, and you can learn a little bit, and then you can go back to the store and buy yourself some drumsticks for like $15. So I got back there, man, and it was nothing but like, I want to say the crowd was different than everybody else that was playing saxophone, and you know what I mean? It was some real, but we young still, you know what I mean? But it was still like hood, you know what I mean? So we was all back there. It was everybody that listened to hip hop basically, bro. A lot Black, Hispanic, a few white guys, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of meshed with everybody there, and I, you know, come to find out that a lot of them, man, they was rapping, and they would have little ciphers and stuff. like in between while the band director talking, they'll be spitting like really low and shit. And I'll be listening. I'm like, damn, man, that shit sounds dope, man. And then I was into Wu-Tang heavily. Stop me if I'm talking too much, man. I was into Wu-Tang heavily.
No, man.
I was a big Wu-Tang fan. And the GZA album in particular, Liquid Swords, this is 1995. I was 12. Man, I think I memorized every verse on that album, man. But one in particular, funny enough, RZA verse off of Fourth Chamber. Think it is like camouflage chameleon, niggas scaling your building, no time to grab your gun now. They got your wife and children. The hit was sent on your residence because you had secret evidence and documents, whatever. So, anyways, I spit that rhyme, bro, one day in the back of the band class, bro, and everybody was like, yo, why you ain't tell me you rhyme? I was like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Just doing my thing, you know what I mean? Just, you know. Few weeks later, man, nigga come up to me, man, and was like, yo, spit that rhyme you had spit a few weeks ago, man. I spit it, and he was like, yo, bro, that's off of Liquid Swords, bro. And I was like, nigga, I told you that. I told you I rhyme. I ain't tell you I was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So back then everybody was writing their own shit, and I didn't write my own. The first rhyme I ever spit, it wasn't my rhyme. So after that, man, I had to learn how to like write my own rhymes, and it was kind of I was kind of whack back then, man. My voice is really high pitched. I just ain't really know, man. But as I kept on doing this, man, here I am right now, bro.
That's dope, man. So what was it that after you kind of got outed as that wasn't your shit? What made you go back and continue to try and get better? Did you have a taste for rapping?
Because I was always surrounding myself with MCs, man. And not only that, because like I said, I'm so heavily into the music as well. I was a drummer before I was a rapper. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still listening to all kinds of different music. I'm playing, I'm in a jazz band. I'm in the marching band. I'm in the symphonic band. I'm playing drums in the church. I'm shit, whatever, man. You know what I mean? And so music in general, bro, was always around from the beginning for me, man. And I was always surrounded around competition and competitiveness, man. And once people, rhyming was like a rite of passage, bro. Like right now, like everybody that I rap with back then, they don't rhyme no more. I'm like the only one out of everybody that's still rhyming. You know what I mean? And so it's funny because I'll send my own homies my own shit, man, and it's like I don't know how to feel about it sometimes, bro. Like you expecting a much more pleasant response from them, but it's more like, yeah, nigga, fuck that shit, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nigga still rapping and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just surrounded myself, man, and as I kept on surrounding myself with people, I got around different people, producers, engineers, went into different studios and stuff and learned how to record my own self, got into battles, and it was all like I came up in that era, bro, where the internet was just busting. You know what I mean? Everybody finally was able to get their own little computer at home. You know what I'm saying? Like Windows, the Windows 95 or whatever. And so, you know, we bought Radio Shack microphones, and we were trying to figure out how to record ourselves, and bought, you know, CD burners and burnt our songs on CDs, and sounded like straight garbage. But it was an experimental phase, man, where we got to meet a lot of people over the internet too, and got into a lot of battles and a lot of discussions on how to make our own music. So it's a lot, man, like from the beginning till now, bro, that, you know, that I kind of was around at the time, you know.
Cool. Oh. But that's interesting though, man. You mentioned about obviously coming up with the music in band, playing drums and things like that, surrounded by MCs and things like that. But you mentioned that a lot of the people you came up rapping with are not rapping now. So what was it that caused you to continue? You know what I mean? Obviously not a follower, but I mean, what was it that made you say, well, the people I'm around and maybe the people that inspired you in the first place that are rapping ain't doing it no more? So what was it that kept you doing it, that wanted to continue it drop
Well,
music?
everything kind of went fast, man. Like I mentioned, right? I mean, I started rapping in middle school. Then we had a group called Mad Juveniles. It was
Okay.
three of us. It was three of us. One of the homies that was in the group died while we was in high school. Then it was just me and the other dude that, you know what I'm saying, his name is HD. So we changed our name to Inner City Legends and in high school. And so we were battling in the cafeterias. We were doing talent shows. I was battling online a lot and winning prizes and getting shit sent to my house. And my mom like, yo, what the fuck is it? What, you know what I mean? You got an MPC sent to your house? What is this? Where is this coming from? Damn, you got T-shirts and stickers and a $500 check at what, you know what I mean? Like stuff was getting, like prizes were getting sent to the house. And so it was, I started to realize, yo, bro, I'm kind of nice, man. And not only that, I felt like my voice was also maturing. It wasn't into a stage where it is now. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like then my voice is very high pitched, man. And so if I listen to my music now, back then I'd be like, turn that shit off, turn it off, turn it off. It was very screechy, man, and just unbearable to listen to. But the point I'm trying to make is I just kept on going at it, man, because people kept listening and kept saying, I felt like I was a little bit ahead of everyone else because I was able to record my own music. So a lot of people that I was around, they had to go to the studio, and when they came back, they'll be like, damn, man, I spent $60 an hour, you know what I mean, studio session. I would listen to it on a CD and I'd be like, this shit sound garbage. You know what I mean? And then they would listen to my stuff and they'll be like, yo, how you get your quality like that? I'm like, man, come to the crib, man. I'll show you exactly what I got, man. I got a little preamp that's this condenser microphone and a little sound card that I installed on my Windows machine, man. And I just made it all happen for myself. So I was able to, like, anything that I was working on, man, I was able to knock it out right then and there. I ain't had to worry about paying no studio fees and none of that.
That
You
helps,
know what I
man.
mean?
That helps.
So you were kind of ahead of the game, man.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's dope. So how did you come up with the name Naps-N-Dreds? So how did you go from being in like a little crew? We all had our little rapping crews, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
how did you
like
get your name and be a soloist?
Yeah, so when I was in middle school, man, I never had, like I told you, I didn't consider myself a rapper like that. You know what I mean? I was really just reciting everybody's rhymes, and whoever can recite the rhymes the best was. I remember like Crucial Conflict was out back then, and Bone Thugs, and I was like the one in the school bus, like rapping fast, and I knew every single word to every single line, man, in those songs, and so. In middle school, it was really about that. But then when I got to high school now, my original name was Dread Style. And it's cause I still had a Jamaican accent back then. And everybody was like, yeah, you know the dread youth where in rap I never do them thing like that. And I'm like, yeah, you know. So Dread Style was my name. So like after, like, I want to say, when I started getting into battling, man, niggas used to be like, yo, this nigga ain't got no dreads and blah, 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 blah. So it's talking all this shit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So started getting around other people. And then it was like, man, yeah, man, you got to change your name up, kid. You can't be dreads, man. Like, you don't have no dreads, bro. Like, they didn't understand. I'm saying it's a dread style, dog. I'm not saying that I got a hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you better off just calling yourself Naps, man, or some shit like that, bro, because that's all you got in the back of your head. I was like, all right, niggas got jokes. All right. So I entered a battle and I was like, yo, just for a joke, I was like, yo, man, I'm going to call myself Naps-N-Dreds. And I'm going to put it one word. I'm going to put it as one word. And so I put it as one word. And then it just stuck ever since then. I liked how it looked. You know what I mean? And it just had a better ring to it. But everybody kept thinking that it was two people. You know what I mean? To this day, bro. I mean, even DJ Premier, man. He told DJ Clips, yo, Naps-N-Dreds. I like those guys. We need to invite them up here.
That's funny.
That's funny. Yeah. So a lot of people still think one of us do the beats and one of us do the raps.
I was going to say, 'cause you spat that on the last project, one of the tracks. You were saying that people think you're It's a group, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. They think it's Naps and Dreads.
Right.
Yeah, man. But that's how the name came up with, man. That's how the name came up.
Sweet.
That's interesting. Still, that's interesting, man. But that's a good thing about shows like this, man. Like Slack said, he discovered you when you dropped Blood Clot 2.
I remember, bro. I remember.
Yeah, man. He hit me up as well, and like, you need to check out this dude. Same for me. I didn't heard like your stuff before that, so I tapped in at that point. I thought it was sick, man. Project was done, so obviously had to go back and tap in. Yeah, man. Had to go back and tap in. Then obviously you got up to where you are now and everything like that. And man, so I love just discovering, and that's what we do, man. We had like I'm God on last week. You know, same kind of thing. I heard gave Slack a shout. It was like, yeah, feeling it. Slack done the same with you. It's good, man. When we can discover artists and be like, yo, this MC is good, man. And you put people onto them and really well. So we're hoping that even little things like this episode we're doing, man, if people haven't heard, they'll tap in and check out, because we know if people listen, they'll feel it. Do you know what I mean?
And if you don't have a platform like this for people like me, man, nobody will ever know. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna be going out there and just telling everybody our business and our whole life story and shit. You know what I mean, bro? Somebody asked me on a platform like this, I'm gonna let y'all know. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, now we appreciate it.
Man. Same
so
here.
For those who don't know you, if you had to describe your style, how would you describe your style?
Bro, that's a good question, man. I feel like people ask me this sometimes, and I never have a straightforward answer, man. Like, I feel like I'm gonna try to wing it, but I feel like my style is really, because I came from the like I said, man, like the battle, like I started out battling before I even was writing my own songs, man. So I feel like when I approach my writing style, when I approach any particular, now it's kind of different because I go off of the concept of a record, right? So what am I trying to deliver here? I'm not trying to just give you straight bars. Bars is like a prerequisite now. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you taking an algebra class, but you got to know how to add and subtract and do all of that shit first. You know what I'm saying? To do algebra, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like my style is really, like creative in a sense where wordplay. This is all cliche stuff I'm talking about, because most rappers that's in our genre right now, they say the same shit, right? But I like to incorporate a lot of the my accent into some of my music. I always like to infuse that Jamaican feel sometimes, not in every song, because I'm not a reggae or dancehall artist, but I'd like to infuse that vibes, you know what I mean, inside of the music. Vibes is very important to me. Before bars, actually. And then when we get to the bars, I like to be most of the time when people say they hear my music, they hit me up like after like the 5th or 6th listen, and they're like, yo, man, I just heard something I didn't hear you say before. And it's kind of meant that way, because sometimes I sit down and I'm writing my rhymes and I'm like, yeah, they ain't gonna get this shit, but I'm gonna still put it in there, you know what I mean? And then somebody end up still getting it. So it's a mixture of a lot of things, man. Vibes, man. The Jamaican infusion, that sound. I love beats that knock, man. Love beats that knock, bro. And I don't know if it's a Jamaican in me, man, but the beat got to be talking to me, man. And I'm not afraid to get on the like really dope beats like a lot of MCs out there, man. They want to get on that no drum shit, which is cool too. I like it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes I feel like that sound just kind of get repetitive, and it's just like it all starts to sound the same to me. You know what I mean? So, and I don't want that. When you hear an album of mine, I want you to feel like, one, this album is different than the last one, and I want you to feel like every song got its own style and its own sound, and everything sound refreshing, and nothing sounds boring, or nothing sounds like it's not captivated. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? The way that you just described your own style, that's exactly, because I was waiting for you to say I like beats that knock, because on all of your albums, they've all got that. So when I saw that you was working with Knox, because he's one of my favorite producers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a funny story about that, but yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Don't worry about that. But the way that you describe your music, that's exactly the way I would. So when you was talking about vibes, because I'm like, as soon as I saw the title, I was like, okay, so this guy's obviously right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instantly,
Yeah.
because that's where my family's from too. So straight away, I was like, okay, I'll vibe with this. So when you said about the vibes from the first song, I was like, all right, I like this dude.
Yeah.
I can see where he's going with it.
Yeah, man.
The way that you kind of like, you can be like aggressive on certain tracks, and then you could be like storytelling on certain tracks. And when you said about the way that songs feel, I think it is the Jamaican in us. There's a certain way that we listen to music. I don't know what it is, but something has to feel the vibe of the song. I can't just listen to the lyrics and you know what I mean and be like, yeah, I have to vibe with the tune. You know what I mean?
And most of the time when I write to the beat. I really have lyrics that's just sitting around that don't got a beat to it. You know what I mean? So yeah, and even when somebody want me to do a feature for them, I tell them first, before you send me any money or you this whatever, the beat got to be good. You know what I mean? Like I'm not rapping on nothing I don't feel, bro. Or else I'm not gonna be able to come up with none.
Right,
100%, man.
Because you got to feel what you're writing to.
Most definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, man.
That's dope, man. So, who would you say is your musical influence? Like, who would you say?
My goodness.
You must have some island.
Oh yeah, I got too many of them, man. But most of them I want to say are like older school Jamaican artists. Dennis Brown, Alton Ellis, Gregory Isaacs.
Yes.
What am I name? Sugar Minot, Freddie McGregor.
Freddie, yes, I knew he was
coming. You know what I mean? Damn. Oh man. All of them, Yellow Man, King Yellow Man, like Ninja Man. Like these guys are like. Now we're talking about dancehall artists now, but those guys I kind of I like how they approach the music. You know what I mean? Especially a man like Ninja Man. He's Ninja Man is a guy, a Vibes Cartel and all them man there. Those guys, they take the music serious. Yes. You know what I mean? When them go up on the stage and them the stage show, mash down the place, serious. You know what I mean? The Capleton is another one. Sizzler is another one. He used to live down in my grandmother neighborhood in Augustown. Who knows? Yeah, we talk about Sizzler. We said Dennis Brown already. We said we just watched a Bob Marley movie the other day. Bob Marley, so you know what I mean. That's a cliche name, but bro, I'm telling you, man, like Jamaican artists, there's so many of them, bro. There's so many of them, dog. And that's mainly my influence. I was heavy into Michael Jackson too when I was a little kid. Heavy, man, like dancing and all of that, man. Like I just wanted to perform. You know what I mean? And hip hop wise, man, people say I sound like Nas. I think it's because I listen to Nas a lot. People say I sound like Black Thought. I don't listen to him that much, but I respect him. You know what I mean? And I like his music. Shit, man, I like MF Doom. I like artists that got their own sound, that are creative, and they got records where it's long lasting, like it never gets old,
right?
You know, and that's why I mentioned so many Jamaican artists, because all of them songs were kind of made like in the 70s and the 60s. You can
still play them shits now.
And you can still play it right now. You know what I mean? So it don't matter, bro. Like music is timeless, man, and music it got its own time as well too. So I can't pinpoint it and say this is my only influence. You know what I mean? Like I even got influence from like jazz musicians, like playing drums. You know what I mean? And just being a fan of just music in general, man. So
important.
Fact.
I ain't got nobody new out right now that I could say, yo, like, you know what I mean? I'm on this wave right now. Like, I'm actually haven't been listening to hip hop at all recently, bro. I've been on a huge reggae run now for like the last 3-4 months now. Everything we listen to are straight reggae, rock steady, lovers rock, all them kind of music there. You know what I mean? All dancehall music we listen to from them. You know what them doing now is them coming out back now with all of the old rhythm them.
Of course.
From the old rhythm them from like early 2000 and the new generation in Jamaica who are mash up the dancehall in a bad way because them start to turn this thing into a like a trap dancehall kind of music now. And when they rap, it's like you can't understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So and then I mash up the you know, good for them still because I'm make money and put food on them plate. You know what I mean? On the table. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know if that kind of music they're making is gonna last, man. So that's why I think they're going back in time now, grabbing the old rhythm them and voicing back over it again. You know, and it sound better, bro. It really does.
But that just goes to show, like when we was talking about vibes in the music, if there's certain music that's only for today, you ain't gonna be listening to that in 5 years, 10 years.
No.
The same artist that you said was your influences, that's what I grew up on. That's what my mum and dad were playing in the house.
Right.
So it was a very easy transition for me to go from Dennis Brown, Shabba Ranks, Freddie McGregor into hip hop. It's a very, very easy. So I think a lot of Jamaican children who were around our kind of age, we would have all been hearing the same music. We would have been hearing our mums, dads, aunties playing on a Sunday, cleaning up the house. Playing kind of songs there. Then it's a very easy transition into listening to hip hop. So I think we've probably all three of us have had that exact same journey.
And what I like about that is no matter which party you go to, and if they playing reggae music and it's an older crowd, you're going to recognize the majority of the songs they play. And you know what I mean? No matter where you go, it's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like you recognize most of the songs they play. I have not been to a party, a Jamaican party, a reggae party, or any kind of session where I listen to the music. I said, boy, I never hear this one yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I've heard it. I feel like I heard it all, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why the vibes feel good. And every time, no matter where I go, it's not just how I feel. When you look around at everybody else, everybody I get up, I want to dance and I slap the wall and say pull up. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? So, bro, it's just strictly vibes, bro.
Definitely.
Them kind of music there, you know what I mean?
We went to a party in Portland.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like a street party. And the DJ was playing everything from the old stuff to the new stuff. You're seeing older people, younger people, all vibing to the same songs. And that was something like, we don't really see that happening like that nowadays. But that was a beautiful thing.
Like you're not gonna go to a party right now, bro, and hear like some old school hip hop music playing and everybody gonna be jamming to it and shit.
Right, exactly.
It might be some shit like fucking MC Hammer or some shit, you know what I mean? Montel Jordan, this is how we do it, some kind of anthem hip hop joint. But really, man, it ain't. You're not gonna hear no hip hop music in the club, man. Like even the classic joints, you're not gonna hear them no more, man. Nobody don't want to hear that shit, man. They're gonna say that shit old school.
Right.
Well, you playing that old school shit.
Yeah.
Old head. Yeah.
Yeah, you an old head, dog. Yeah, man. You need to get with the times, bro. You know.
You made a great point, though, man. When you asked about when Slat asked you about influence, man. It was interesting to hear all the different genres and artists that you're mentioning. Like, you know, you're an MC first. You know what I mean? We know that you play drums and different things like that. And I know you've been listening to reggae and everything like that the last few months and that. But you know, you're an MC, you're a rapper, and to name those as your influences right now and what you're listening to is interesting, man. Because that's what adds to the vibe, and that's what adds to the, how can I put it, man? Just the different sound and variation of the music. Because you'd be amazed the amount of people that only listen to like one genre of music and wonder why they don't have balance or don't have, you know what I mean, interesting variations in their sound. So it's important what you said there about listening to other things, man. If we were to bring it straight to hip hop, and I'll asked you about some inspirations. You mentioned Doom, Nas. But if you were to pull out maybe say not a top 5 or nothing like that, but if you was to say, you know, 5 MCs that are probably your favorite MCs, who would you go to? Like, what kind of 5 MCs would you say?
I'll probably say, well, we mentioned Nas. I'm gonna put Nas there. We can talk about putting in, like, we'll add both of them in there, man. Raekwon and Ghostface. I want to say MF Doom. And damn, this is harder than I thought, bro. Because I like a lot of like a lot of rappers, man. Like, and I don't really rank them. I don't put them in a ranking, man. Damn, dog. I gotta pick somebody from down here, man. Damn, I can't even give you the 5th one, bro. I can't give you the 5th, man. Damn. See, I could easily pick some underground artists or some shit like that, but I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that.
Whoever you got, man. Whoever you feel like.
Man, I mean, we could talk about, and y'all niggas probably want, like, I like Rock Marciano. I fuck with Hus Kingpin, because that's my homie. And he an Aries too, so, you know, we gotta represent for them. Damn, bro. I mean, I don't want to sound cliche, dog. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot, you know. Slick Rick. I mean, Busta Rhymes. Thurston Howell the Third.
Good shout. Good shout.
I mean,
then let me flip it like this. Let me flip it like this before Slap.
That's too hard of a question, man.
I'm gonna make it harder. I'm gonna flip it again before Slap goes. If we're looking at albums, then if we was to say some of, like, if someone came around and said, look, what's 5 of your favorite albums of all time? They don't have to be ranked or nothing, but just 5 of your favorite albums of all time. I like these kind of questions because it just helps us to know you as an artist and as an individual. What would you say is 5 of your favorite albums?
I like Stillmatic better than I like Illmatic.
Okay, cool.
I like Mad Villainy by MF Doom. Damn, man. Whoa. You know what? I like Bell Biv DeVoe Poison album, man. I ain't gonna hold you. That album right there, bro. Like I said, that came out around the time where I really was wanting to rap, and I couldn't tell the difference if it was R&B or rap at the time. So that definitely was an album, bro, that really was a game changer for me because I liked every song on that album. You know, Ready to Die, man. Ready to Die is another one. Ready to Die is kind of I remember listening to it and I'm like thinking like, yo, this dude is saying a lot of shit that, like, back then I didn't pick up on the shit he was saying. Now I listen to it now, I'm like, this nigga said a lot of things that was kind of questionable, bro. You know what I'm saying? Kidnap kids, fuck them in the ass, throw them over the bridge. I'm like, what? Well, how you got away with that? You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous, bro. Oh shit, man. Name one, man. Name one for me, man. Name one for me.
Someone who I thought was very similar to you is Cardinal Official. I thought he would have been on your list.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm a fan of Cardinal Official too, as well as Chauclair. But I don't know any of their albums, man. Like I'm a victim of like I was listening to a lot of albums back then, like especially like Cocoa Brothers and Muhammadiyah, and Just like that was in high school, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to a lot of things like that, man. But there came a point in time where, you know, it's not like the internet now, bro, where like you can just listen to everything. So you had to have bought that album to really know it, and then you know what I mean. So most of the albums that I mentioned are the ones that I had in my locker at school. You know what I mean? So, but no, Cardinal, man. And I actually want to work with him too, man. You know, it's just because I feel like
you two on the track would be crazy.
It's you know, sometimes working with certain artists like that, man, is like I feel like Cardinal. I don't think music is in the forefront for him. Like he's willing to work on music, but in his own time. You know what I mean? Kind of like me myself too. So he's not like an individual. I feel like you could just hit up and like, you know what I mean, I got you or some shit like that. Maybe he's not on that music wave right now. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you though, if you know, what I like to do is I like to see which beats artists like from Knots when I'm working with Knots. Like for instance, if he posted on his Instagram or something like that, and I see Cardinal Official, like for instance, I'm working on a song with Elzai, and the beat that we got. Okay, I don't even want to get to that, but it's Blood Clot 3. So I'm Blood Clot 3, and right. So I seen him like that beat, and he didn't even know that I see him saw that he liked that beat. But it was picked perfectly just for that song. So I kind of like to do it like that, man. Like I don't like to just pick a rabbit out of a hat and just wish for the best. You know what I'm saying?
You have segued perfectly into my next question, which was, how did you link up with Knots? Knots is one of the greatest producers in hip hop. I don't care what anybody says. That guy's
not mentioned enough, man.
Not mentioned enough. His beats are crazy. His drums are crazy. His melodies are crazy. How did you hook up with that, Don?
Yeah, Knots is one of those producers where I feel like when I listen to his music, I feel like everything that I like about a beat is in it. And what I mean to say is the drums is knocking, the bass line is knocking, crazy. And he's really good at sampling as well. And the beat never gets boring. There's always a little change up in there somewhere.
He does chord progressions, all sorts of
shit. All of that, definitely. And I know all of that because I'm into music. So when I listen to it, I'm like, I see what he's doing. How I got to know Knots, I didn't even know who Knots was, bro. Like, y'all knew who he was. I didn't know who he was, bro. Like, how I know Knots is I used to be a Little Brother fan. Okay, there goes another album that you could throw in there. Yeah. Little Brother, man. The Listening, the Menstrual Show. But they had an album called it's not is it just us or something like that? They had a song Just Us, and they had a song on there called Life of the Party, and Carlita Duran was singing on it.
Yes.
I'm the life of the party. Come and look at me now. Nas produced that beat. And so when I heard that song, Fonte was always saying, my nigga Knots on the beat. Like when the song first came on, he would say, my nigga Knots on the beat. And so I would always hear that song all the time repetitively. And I'm like, okay, this is, Knots or whatever. So one day I was on Twitter and I don't know. I wasn't following him. I just seen something that said, yo, artist, send me some songs for my mixtape that I'm working on called Welcome Home. This was like right before he started, right after he did the album with Asher Roth, and right before he started doing the Welcome Home album. Is it Welcome Home by rapper Pooh?
Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home. Sorry, yeah. But the name of the mixtape was called Welcome Home. Right. Welcome Home Mixtape Volume 1. So I sent him a few of my songs, and I think within like 2 weeks the mixtape came out, and I'm thinking it was gonna be like an assortment of different artists on there. When I looked, it was all Knots produced records. All of the songs that he put out, like with Asher Roth and some stuff with rapper Pooh and Little Brother and stuff like that. And my song was just and it was all blood. It was that song shit, man. It was all Blood Clot, the original one. damn, I can't remember, bro. But he played that song on there, and I'm like, yo, why am I the only rapper on this mixtape that is not produced by you? You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, that joint's fire, fam. We need to work. I'm like, cool. So he sent me some. I was working on Blood Clot at the time. So when he sent me some beats, and I started working on them because I think I got like 3 beats on Blood Clot from Knots. And when I let my homies hear it, they was like, yo, that's the same Knots that produced for Busta Rhymes and all that. And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, how you spell the name? I'm like, Nottz. He's like, yo, bro, that's the dude that produced all them classic joints. Me and you used to freestyle too. You remember that beat? Blah, 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 blah. Like, we went down a whole rabbit hole of shit, bro. I felt real stupid. And I didn't even go to Knots and be like, yo, bro, I didn't know who you were, and I wasn't acting fanned out or none of that. You know what I mean? Because by that time, I'm already just looking at him still as just like, all right, well, I respect his skills and his talent. You know what I mean? I wasn't really looking at him like putting him on a pedestal or anything like that, you know? So, and I think, honestly, that's probably the reason why he still fuck with me to this day, because maybe I didn't go overboard with our communications. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't act too fanned out. Like, I was just like, yo, man, we just gonna work on music. You like my shit, I like your music, and we kind of like that. He never knew who I was, and I didn't know who he was when I met him. But everybody else knew who he was. You know what I mean?
You two on the track is just perfect, because when I ran through the producers, I was like, oh, so this guy not only is dope at rapping, but you've got Knots, you got Buck Wild, you got J.R. Swift, you got Trots, you've got like some really like incredible producers projects. So I was like, how do more people not know about you? Like, this is something that if someone can rap, they make good songs, they make good albums, they've got like some of the dopest producers.
Because I'm not out there touring and doing all kinds of stuff. I'm not really upfront with my music, because I already got my own thing going on that makes more money than the music that I do. Right. You know what I'm saying? Music is secondary to me. So for me to be, I feel like I already know the formula to do and be known and everything. But for me to do that, I'd have to sacrifice every single thing that I do right now just to get to that point. And I'm cool with making my music, letting the world hear it, and when the opportunity is there for me to do certain things, to go here and there, as long as it don't interfere with certain things, I do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna sit here and say, boy, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, if it feels right to do, I'm gonna do it, bro. But one thing I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna drop everything for God's sake. I'm not gonna chase music dream. You know what I mean? Right. I'm too old for that now. Maybe when I was in high school, I was like that. You know what I mean? In high school, I'm like, yeah, nigga, we about to blow and shit. You know what I mean? But ain't nobody blowing in this genre now, dog. I mean, and people get so delusional about this shit because they really think that they blowing, but it's really, dude, you realize that you really only got like 5,000 fans, or like, you know what I mean? Like the music that we listen to that we call hip hop or underground or boom bap hip hop is so it's a small segment of what people really think hip hop is, bro. You know what I'm saying? When people hear my music, they be like, "Oh, you got that old school type of flow, like that old school style." And in my head, I'm like, "Old school? What the fuck is that?" Right. This is not old school, nigga. This is 2024 Naps-N-Dreds rap, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are we talking about here, man? But it's the ignorance of it. You know what I mean? They don't hear that kind of music on the radio.
Right.
What they call hip hop now? What they call hip hop now is not what I consider hip hop to be when I first started hearing it.
Right.
It's a different genre altogether, bro. Different thing.
Right.
Completely. No, you're 100% right, man. But that's why when we listen to MCs like yourselves that drop stuff now, it's got that feel for us, because it's like, this is, and we've said it so many times on the episode, they're not taking anything away. Like you even said it, you know, they're making their money, good for them. Like you even spoke about dancehall and how the music's changed and the sound and everything like that. Same thing's happening across every genre. You listen to, I call it hip hop now, because it's not hip hop. That's why when you hear something like, you know what I mean, the last project that you dropped, and you hear those drums and you hear those bars and you hear those beats, you're like, yeah, this is it's soothing to us because we're like, yeah, this is what we came up on. This is what we still want to hear. It's not old. It's not dated. It's not old school or old style. It's hip hop, man.
And I make music for people like y'all, man, and for myself too as well. You know what I mean? It's not I'm making anything like that. I'm just making music that when you hear it, I'm trying to make. I'm not trying, but my goal is to when I make music that when I listen to it 10 years from now, I want it to still sound like I made it today.
Right.
I got songs that I'm gonna put on the Blood Clot 3 album, bro, that I did like 5 years ago. I might go back in the booth and respit it. I might not. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you can never tell, bro. You know what I mean? Sometime I release music. We'll put sometime and drop our music from like 2 years ago. And I see people reposting it talking about new Naps-N-Dreds single. I think, you know what I mean? Like people, you gotta spoon feed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You drop an album today. By 2 weeks time, they're not listening to it anymore. But then you drop a song, you drop a video from it for 6 months later, and then say, "Boy, yo, Naps drop a wicked album, you know." You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, bro, where were you when I dropped the album? You know what I'm saying? I got to bring it to your face every day.
Yeah, I can imagine that must get very jarring. But the thing that kind of surprised me, like through the pandemic, you were dropping music, so I'm guessing that was kind of stuff you already recorded. I
was in the zone in the pandemic because I felt like I had everything I needed here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I cut my own hair. First of all, I cut my own hair, so I don't need to go to the barber to get a haircut. Everybody that I was seeing, they're shabby, they're bearded, they're just looking like they came straight out of the woods. I was still looking clean. I was looking clean. I had new music. I felt like I'm locked in. And I also felt like everybody else I felt like I was at the time trying to compete with, it kind of put a clamp on them a little bit. You know what I mean? in a good and bad way, because the thing is, a lot of people are strictly just making music and making money off of it to support themselves and their family. Right. So during the pandemic, a lot of people weren't able to go out and perform and do certain things. But a nigga like me who still had work, I felt like, well, damn shit, this is my time to really kind of capitalize on this moment here where not a lot of hip hop is being out in the open right now. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I felt for myself. Because I mean, there was even a point where I was seeing people saying, yo, we need to come up with artist fund for people, for artists, you know what I mean? Like people donate to a fund and shit. So when things like this happen, you know, artists can still still have money to take care of themselves and stuff like that since they can't perform. And it was a crazy time, but it was also a time that I felt like I was in my element because, like I mentioned, I just felt like I had everything around me that I needed, and I was good, man. Like I like feeling like that. You know what I mean? Like there was no pressure. Nobody can come to me and say, "Yo, Naps, yo, man, you come out to New York, I come out to London or something like that. You mad and catch COVID?" You know what I mean? So it was like that, bro. Like I was just like, yeah, man. All right, boom. I don't feel no pressure right now, but just to make music.
Yeah, man. Prolific stuff around them times, man.
Definitely,
yeah, it was. My father-in-law passed away from it. There was a lot of conspiracies going around. I caught it. So this shit was real, man. But a lot of people was acting like this shit wasn't real, but let them go on still.
Definitely.
If they don't catch it by now, then we'll catch it later.
Yeah, that shit caught up with me, man, for real.
Man.
But during that process, when you was making those albums, which one would you say, like, because obviously once this comes out, there's going to be people that may not have heard your music before that's going to be put onto it. If someone came to you and said, "Yo, Naps, what would you tell me would be the first album you think I should listen to from you?" So a new fan, what album would you say, yeah, this is the one that I recommend you start with?
I give you two. Don't Make Me Famous and my first Knots album.
Right. Okay.
Because to me personally, I mean, I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but now that I got at least 9 or 10, or I got nine albums now, with one collaborative one with the Bad Seed called that one is fire too. The Return of Biggs and Wayne. I don't know if y'all heard that one.
That was real.
Yeah, I heard that.
No, that one's from 2019.
19.
Oh,
Yeah,
I haven't got that one.
Yeah, and then Blood Clot 2 came out in 2020.
That's the one that I started with.
Yeah. And Don't Make Me Famous came out the next year, 2021.
Right. Yeah.
So that one right there. I mean, actually, bro, like I love that album so much. I pressed it up on vinyl. I love the artwork. I don't know if you heard of this, man. You heard this one?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
I was gonna say, bro, because this shit got a lot of bangers on here, man. Like, I like it better than most of my albums that I did, man. But if I like yeah. So Don't Make Me Famous would be one, and then the Knots album, and then probably Blood Clot, the original Blood Clot.
Okay.
Right.
What people don't know though, my first album was Blackboard Jungle.
Yeah, I was gonna say
like 2010, around that kind of time.
Say it again.
Your first album was around 2010.
Yeah, so I had got signed to a label. You ever heard of a group called Cunning Linguist? Linguist.
No, as well from Cunning Linguist, right?
Right. So Deacon the Villain was the one that got me my first record deal with the label that he was signed to called Fresh Chest. Okay. And so when I was on Fresh Chest, the first album I was supposed to work on was Blackboard Jungle. And so I started working on Blackboard Jungle. It was almost done. I think we released a 12-inch single. It was produced by I don't know if you remember a group called the Mole Men. It's based out of Chicago. The producer name was named Panic. Anyways, I had a single with him, and we released it on a 12-inch vinyl. That was the first time I ever released a 12-inch vinyl. I thought that shit was like the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like to have a vinyl out was crazy. So man, I know that shit somewhere. Anyways, the label, man, it folded, bro. It folded. They said that they're not doing it anymore. They was outputting more money than they was getting back, and so they dropped it. So I was left with a 12-inch single and an album that didn't come out. So from that time, from 2000, I'll say 2002 to like 2010, because I was in college at the time. So I was also doing school, and I was trying to finish up college. And I was also trying to like get back home, back down here, because I was up north in Tallahassee, Florida. So when I came back down here is when I said, you know what, man, fuck it, man. I'm gonna put that album out, dog. So I took the songs that I did that for the album, and I said, I'm not gonna use them. They too old. I'm gonna start fresh. And at that time, I was working with Ken Starr, this dude from Canada named Moonshine, Hassan Mackey, and we had got on a song called "It's Mine," produced by Illmind. And so I don't know if you know Illmind, but he went on to do big and great things. So Illmind produced at least 6 songs off of my first album. He executive produced it. It got Cool G Rap on it. It got Thurston Howell on there. It got shit, man. Odyssey produced a lot of records on there too as well, just on the production. Murdoch, the typical Florida names, man. Florida artists that was on that too. So that's kind of how that album came about, man. Was that Blackboard Jungle was supposed to be on the label release, but then when they dropped, I kind of went back and revisited and then repurposed it and made all new records, man. So my only gripe with that album is that, like I mentioned, it's my first album. Some niggas they first album is the best album, right. But to me personally, like the mixing wasn't as good. Like I pay attention to all of that shit, man. Like if the mixing ain't good, I'm not putting it out, bro. You know what I mean? So the mixing, I couldn't tell whether or not I wasn't as savvy with the music with my ear at that time yet. You know what I mean? I was more dependent on everybody else telling me what does it sound like to them. Right. But now I know exactly what it's supposed to sound like. And that if I could do it all over again, I would have probably got Eddie Sancho or somebody else to mix the album. You know what I mean?
Eddie's the king, man. But it's
Yeah,
funny
for sure.
because it's weird with some artists. Like you get an artist like, let's say Nas. So at the gate you come out of it Illmatic, or Snoop at the gate you come out of a Doggy Style, and then you never really hit that height again. Or some people say you haven't hit that again. But then you get their debut either gets shelved, doesn't come out. There's issues, or it's just not very good. Like let's say the Fugees. The Fugees first album was terrible. But then their second album is a complete. So
you're talking about the score, the second one, right?
Right. So you can have a really bad debut and a great second album, or a really great debut and a terrible second album. Like it can go.
It got a lot to do with the marketing and the money that is put into it. The label situation, man. It's much different when you're an independent artist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you put out an album and nobody heard about it, but back then they had a whole street team. You see what I'm saying? There were people to go around and nail shit to the street lights and stuff. You walk around and see it on billboards, you know what I mean, and the clubs, you know what I mean. Like they had you locked in interviews, you know what I mean, radio, TV interviews, you know what I mean, meet and greet, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of shit like that, man. Kiss babies, you know what I'm saying. You know, so you know and especially when you're a new artist. They want to make sure that you make that big impact. Kind of like when Biggie first came out. They had slogans. Think big. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like they was coming out with like a fucking soda line, a new soda or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even a human. It was like a product. You know what I'm saying? And so they treated it like that, bro. So they had that one chance to make it as big as possible. And if they could do that, then we can continue. Then they could continue their run. You know what I mean, with something else.
Right.
And you always had time, man. Back then, you could release an album and then don't come out with an album again for another 2-3 years.
Right.
And then it's anticipated
all the time.
Yeah, you know, yeah, man. I'm not like that though. I don't like to drop albums frequently like that, bro. I like to drop maybe 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah.
You know, and then do like little side projects and you know features and stuff like that, man. But I'm not one of them artists, man, that's gonna be dropping something like every 3 months or something like that, man. I feel like people just be tired of hearing you at that point.
I was gonna say that's actually crazy.
Pressure. They feel like they're under pressure.
Right.
Today, like Westside Gunn tweeted something out, and people like, "Yo, where's the new album?" I'm like, "Bro, he dropped in like September."
Yeah.
Like,
and it should sound like the last album that dropped.
Yeah, so you haven't even digested the last album and you're asking for the next one.
Yeah, man. It's the streaming, bro. It's the streaming era, man. You know what I mean? They can just hop back and forth. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Most of the time albums come out, bro, and say it again.
I was saying because before, if you dropped a project every year, I mean, you said you don't like to drop too frequently, maybe once or twice a year. My first thought was, I think that's a decent amount of drops because before it weren't many artists dropping every single year.
That's actually pretty frequent.
You know what I mean? It'd be every couple of years. I mean, you had the big commercial artists, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, certain people dropping every single year. Do you know what I mean? But I'd say that the average was probably about every couple of years you drop a project. Yeah. But like you said, every 3 months, like you said, man, like new project, and then people are like, when's the next one? Like you said, and it's like, man, there's no way you've digested that last album. No way you've digested that.
No way.
And we're making music, Zine. So that means that if I'm gonna bring a whole album to you, first of all, I'm not gonna give you like 10 songs. I might give you like 14. Like my first album had 22 songs on it. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So most of the records got a substantial amount of songs on there, and not only that, bro, but you gotta go through a period, bro, where you're experiencing new things. So when you come in and you beat that note with that new album, then hear something different than they didn't hear the last time. Like, oh, you're talking about a new baby, or he got married, or you know what I'm saying, or you know, he had called a case, God forbid, or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what can happen in that span. You know what I mean? And so I feel like sometimes people just don't let life just breathe life into them, bro, and just experience everything around you, bro, and stop trying to hurry this shit. You know what I mean?
Like if you drop an album in January, then you drop another album in April, what has happened between January and April that you're gonna be able to tell us on the album? Like,
No, nothing. You know, the man them make 20 songs and then them drop 10 songs in a January and drop the next 10 songs in a April. That's all. The same thing in the same album split up, you know.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. Very, very true, man.
And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. You know what I mean? It's just everybody got their own way of doing things. But what I do see happen is when you go about it that way with that approach, I just sit back and I just see, all right, now you're burn out. No, you're burn out. No.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You have nothing else to say. Nobody don't want to hear from you no more. You know what I mean? I them say, boy, what happened to them? I'm tired of this sound, this Griselda sound. I'm tired of this. They need to come up with something new now.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
I've seen the fans turn now against Griselda.
Right.
A few years ago, it was I can't wait for Benny. I can't wait for
Even Benny. Benny used to get enough ratings, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But look at it now, it's totally turned.
It's too much. But then
Too much, man.
Flea, I think Flea's the greatest example of that. Flea Lord. Like, if you was a fan, I discovered Flea Lord around 2019. I'll probably say, around 2019. Yeah. And then he was just like dropping, like, it felt like every month. Do you know what I mean? And then what happens is
look for Huss Kingpin. Yeah. But that's the thing, you know. The thing with Huss now, here's where he's brilliant. Well, Huss, it's not just an album, just any kind of little bit of album. It's a concept. It's a concept.
Right.
So every album is a concept. It's almost like a series, like a comic book series that you can lay out on the table and say, boom. You know what I mean? So you're not really. I don't get bored listening to that because I can see that you're trying to do something different every time. You know what I mean?
Like the Threesome series, you could continue dropping that, and it's
right, exactly, bro. You know what I mean? And then with a 91 the joint, you know what I mean?
Very true, very true, man. One last question for you from me. One of our goals when we do these episodes, these interviews, is obviously to just get a little bit insight to you as an artist and as a person. So apart from your music influence and different things like that, what would you say are your hobbies outside of music? What do you like doing outside of music?
Well, I like to smoke ganja. I like to play drums too. I watch football. American football.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I watch basketball. I'm a Miami Heat fan. I can't wait to get off of this interview because 7:30. I'm have a game tonight.
Okay.
I got 3 kids and a wife, so I spend a lot of my times with them. Here's my thing when nobody don't know about yet, and I'm going to beat them with it to say.
Exclusive.
I make beats.
Okay.
Enough beats though from a long time, but I just have not gotten on any of my beats yet. They're good enough for me to get on, like Naps kind of level beats, but I don't. I like to do. I don't do the Kanye thing. You know what I mean? It's either this or that.
Right.
So right now I'm gonna go through a phase, bro, where you just gonna see nothing but just beats from me and no rap. You know what I mean? You might hear other people rapping on it, but you're not gonna. I'm just gonna concentrate on just putting out and making a producer name. A name for myself with production.
That's dope.
And I came up with a little witty idea. You know, I think I'm gonna call myself Span. That's Snap spelled backwards. So, you know what I mean? I try to look a thing, you know. Slack over there, like, okay, all right, we'll see, nigga. We'll see if you better than that.
But again, that segues nicely into my last question, which is, what can you tell the people that you've got coming? Is there anything exciting? You've already mentioned Blood Clot 3, you mentioned Elzai, you mentioned the beats. Is there anything else that you want to let the people know that you got?
There was a lot of projects, bro, like that was in the works for a minute, and they kind of fell by the wayside because the vibes, you know, this is the thing, man. When you're working with people, if me and you working on a record together, I need to feel that same energy, man. I don't want to feel like I'm working on something and you're sometime-ish with it. You know what I mean? Because I'm already a person where you got to catch me when the fire is lit. You know what I mean? Because at any given moment, I could just be like, yo, I don't feel like listening to hip hop right now.
Right.
And I'm not in my hip hop MC bag no more. You know what I mean? So and it comes and it goes like that. Like right now, I'm in my hip hop MC bag. And so if people want to work with me, they better get it while the iron is hot, because when you come back around and you want to start working on it, I'm gonna be in a whole different vibe. So right now, there's a few projects that I was supposed to be working on with some different producers. Right now, they're on the back burner. I'm not even gonna mention it because I don't know if it's gonna come out. But you know, I just dropped the photos from the dark room, the new Naps album. Last year I dropped it?
Last year,
last year. But then this year now, Blood Clot 3 is dropping. That shit's gonna be crazy. And I'm talking about like from the features to the production. Yes, it's still got knots on there. Ayatollah's on it. I think I might have some of my production on there too, man. Migraine was on that Florida's Crazy joint on Blood Clot 2. Wordsworth. Bro, just normally the Blood Clot series got a lot of features and a lot of songs on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be the same thing, but man, I want to show y'all the cover for it, but I can't show it to y'all on here. The cover for that shit is crazy, bro. That shit crazy, dog.
Just not here, Josh.
When people see that cover, they're gonna be like, okay, I get it, man. Like, and to see Blood Clot 1 cover, Blood Clot 2 cover, and then see Blood Clot 3, you're gonna be like, all right, this nigga finally, and that's probably gonna be the last Blood Clot album after that.
But to be honest though, man, your covers are all your covers are kind of fire.
Definitely.
Like your Blood Clot 2 cover was fire. My favorite is Super Breath. That cover is sick.
Oh yes, Super Breath. Yeah, so the same guy that you mentioned for all those albums, he made all those covers, man. His name is he's from France. He's a French dude. He makes the covers for Vinny Paz and not Vinny Paz. Well, Vinny Paz, Stu Bangers, Ill Bill. I don't know if you saw like the Incredible Hulk album cover. He does a lot of shit, man. I don't know, man, but he work a lot with a lot of big names, and so anytime I meet somebody that I got a good relationship with that work well, you know what I mean, they don't stress me out, and they work is really good. Cause bro, like the nigga, I didn't send him no picture of myself, bro. And the Blood Clot 3 cover, it's like the nigga took a picture of me while I was sleeping or some shit.
Wow.
Cause I'm like, how you got my face like that, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, which picture you got from me that you made it like that? You know what I mean? I don't know if he drew it offhand or if it's computer. I don't know what the fuck, man. But I don't got to provide him with nothing. He come up with the concept himself, and all I got to do is tell him, you know, do this or do that. You know what I mean? And it's always a smooth working relationship with me and him, man. And our album cover is very important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Sure. Because when I first come across your album, if it was just like Blood Clot 2 with like a black background, and
just a black background, yeah.
I'll keep scrolling. But when I saw the album, I was like, I'm right. I'm gonna check this out, see what's happening.
And what's funny about that cover too is that the original, that's a hand drawn picture of myself. A dude that I went to college with did that for me. And so the original cover art, it didn't look like that because it until I gave it to an actual graphic artist, they took that same picture and made it the way it looked now. So the Blood Clot 1 album. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's it now. It looks way better now. You know what I mean? I don't even look cross-eyed no more. So if you stare at Blood Clot 1 picture long enough, you'd be like, yo, he looking like he's cross-eyed.
You know everyone's gonna do that now, isn't it?
You got one eye going this way and one eye going that way. You gotta keep my eye out for these niggas, man.
Everyone's gonna stare at that cover now, much.
Yeah, bro.
MCs of all time was Boss Side, man. It's fine. Like Biggie had one eye facing the East Coast, one eye facing the West Coast.
That's true. But that was his real eye. But no, album covers, man, is very important, man. And I think people underestimate that a lot, man, because they want to hurry up with the music so much that they just do any kind of shit just to put the music out. You know what I mean? Because you definitely need a cover in order to put it out on streaming. But people don't understand, bro, that the cover, bro, is what people remember, like before they hear anything. You know what I mean? Before they open that book, they see the cover. And that's how it was with all of the classic albums back then, bro.
It's good to know that you put so much into your projects, from your raps to who's producing to the mixing, the engineering. Talking about you need it to sound right, you want the art right. So you've literally covered all bases on, you know.
Bro, the mixing, the artwork, the music videos all cost more than actually making the album, even the beats themselves.
Right.
I'd rather spend my money on the mixing and the mastering and the artwork and the content, because
you want it to be right.
Yeah, man. And not only that, especially if the album is good. If the album is good, I hate when people come around and be like kind of like, not, I don't hate it. It's a good thing. But what I mean to say is that sometimes people say, damn, how come this dude ain't known? You know what I mean? Like DJ Clips, you know, that's how I know DJ Clips. I randomly saw a tweet, a mention of my name. It was like, yo, I just came across this Blood Clot album from Naps-N-Dreds. How come nobody told me about this? And in my head, I'm thinking like, damn, bro. I'm like, what am I, living under a rock or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to look around like, yo, man, where am I? Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida. That's what it is, bro. It's that too, man.
You was in New York, I guarantee you a load more people.
Yeah, people tell me that shit all the time, bro. You need to come up here, bro. You probably get more love up here than you get down there, bro. You know what I'm saying? People want to see you up here, bro. You know, I get that a lot, man.
No one's doing your sound but you in Florida that I can think of.
No. Don't get me wrong. Now, Thurston Howell lives down here. Thurston lives down here. Murdoch lives down here. Oh yeah, he's not from here. Murdoch is originally from Queens, but he lives down here. But he's been down here like as long as I have, bro. You know what I mean? So a lot of these dudes that live down here, you're right. They either migrants that came from up north, or they just heavily influenced by like myself. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I've only been to New York twice, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. So you're from Jamaica, gone straight down to Florida. A load of these dudes were already in New York, so they're their sound shaped by New York. Then they moved down there. So
right, exactly. Yeah, they run with from the core. They say, oh, my parents, bro. My parents couldn't take the cold anymore, bro. So we had to come down here, bro.
Oh, it makes sense, man. I feel that, bro.
Yeah, man. I know you're telling me it's cold up there, man. I got a cousin that live up there, and she's in Milton Keynes.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know where that was at.
That's not far from us, man. That's like an hour up the road from me.
Oh, okay. And then Kel's with the Heat. He's in Birmingham.
Okay. That's like
I don't know how far that is. I was actually, what people don't know is I was actually conceived in Wales.
What?
I was. Yep.
Oh wow.
My mother and my father was living in Wales when I was conceived, and then they came back to Jamaica, and I was born there.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I actually got a Welsh name, and I'm not gonna even mention it.
Wow. That's what I do every day. I would never have, if you had said, guess
what, bro.
I would never have said Wales ever.
Yeah, man, Wales, bro. Yeah, man.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a great fun fact to close the show.
And they were like the only black people there at the time, bro. They said they never had central air. They had to take baths, like they didn't have showers. It was just crazy, man. Wow. The stories that they tell me about is just ridiculous.
So from Wales to Jamaica to Florida.
Florida, yeah. Dope, no, what? I never lived in Wales. I've never been to the UK at all. I said I was conceived there. Yeah. They were getting the thing on up there, and then they came down to Jamaica. You know what I mean? But I was named after a famous rugby player.
Are your parents still in Jamaica?
My dad is in Jamaica. My mom is up here.
Okay.
My dad, my whole dad's side of the family, and my two brothers is down there.
Right. Yeah. Same. That's where my dad's family from. Same.
Yeah.
No, man. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. Same here, bro. Good speaking with y'all, man. Because we always communicate every now and then on Twitter, man. And you guys always rate me. You know what I mean? So when you asked me to do this, I was like, man, it ain't no thing, bro. You know what I mean? Let's get it.
Much appreciated, bro. And hopefully, like when everyone sees this show, they get to know a little bit more about you, get to know a bit more about your catalog, check you out.
Oh yeah, I hope so, man.
People that rock with us, they will definitely be feeding your music, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I hope so, man. Yeah, man. Respect to them, man. Serious, bro.
No,
yeah,
man.
Appreciate that, man.
So, man, just an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Hopefully,
100.
at some point when you're ready to drop Blood Clot Free, man, we could do another.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, man. So checking out, man. I hope you enjoyed the show. So from me, your boy Slack in the building as always, man, and my co-host extraordinaire on my left.
Yes,
man. It's been a good one. Naps-N-Dreds, nothing but love.
Definitely.
Coming in. So until we do it again, and support the music, man. Check out his music. You won't be disappointed, man. So yes, My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype, man. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again with you next week, and all that good stuff, man. So from us, we're out, man. So until then, stay blessed, keep it peace, keep it hype, and all that good stuff. Peace.
Peace, y'all. Peace, man.